Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'm going to return back to Russia and take a look at one of their military's air crew and helicopter crew single meal rations. Now this is a single meal with no heating pack and it's designed for air crew and helicopter crews. So let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. And as you can see, I now have here on the table this Russian air crew and helicopter crews single meal pack. That's the first time I've seen one of these. As I turn it around, it does sound like there's some sugar probably gone, but I have here the standard 24-hour Russian military ration, so you can see the difference in size comparison. So this is the single meal, where this is the 24-hour, but as you can see, particularly by the backs, it's just a mini form of their larger military ration. So let's move that out of the way for now, and we'll come back to having a closer look. It's exactly the same sort of layout as the larger military rations, so we'll just hopefully have a peel open top there. I can hear sugar or something rattling around in there, so I think we have lost a bag. Just hopefully it doesn't go all over the table. Very tricky to open. It is the waxed box, cardboard box style again, almost like an exact copy of the 24-hour. They're just obviously smaller sized. So what does this air crew Russian military single meal actually contain? So straight off, I'm just going to just put it to one side because I can feel and hear sugar. Just had to empty that out before it went all over my table there. So straight off the bat, that feels like the caviar. As I say, there is no indication of what the contents are, so I couldn't do a translation before. This particular one does expire on 8/22, so it's a very fresh ration. But looking at these, sugar everywhere. One of these would be the standard caviar. I think one might be a pate, maybe even an apple puree, and again that might be the pate. We have sugar everywhere. There is a coffee. There is what I believe is a wet nap, just trying to get the sugar off. There is a sugar sachet, it has burst. There is what I believe to be salt and pepper. Oh. Lots of sugar, lots of spillage. Sugar pack's gone. There is the mains. I will do a full translation, but it's a nice large mains. It looks larger than a standard sort of Russian meal that you normally find. There is surprisingly 3 spoons. 1, 2, 3. So there is 3 spoons surprisingly for an individual ration, unless it is one to eat the mains and one to eat the apple purees and things. There is a little chocolate bar. Single napkin, being careful not to get sugar everywhere, and there was a large pack of sugar which, as you can see, has sort of emptied itself into the box there. So this is the contents of this single meal air crew and helicopter crews ration. So let's get this out on a tray and see what these look and taste like. So as you can see, I now have here on the tray the contents of this Russian air crew single meal. I've had a couple of little mishaps. I did try warming up the contents. This was the pepper and tomato caviar, pepper and tomato paste, but the cap did give way when I was warming it, and I think I've lost half it in the water. Also the sugar had split and gone, so I've got a little bit of a German Eimenpacken sugar to add to this here. So I mean, sugar is sugar, I'm sure it's the same, but I know it is. So I'm going to start there making the drinks. So So first of all, I'm going to add a little bit of this German almond pack'em sugar to my cup, and then I'm going to follow that off, or top that off, with the Russian coffee that came with it. Now I've noticed a few little oddities with this ration. Firstly, we have it with the translation, it is stewed meat and rice, tomato and pepper caviar. We have a fruit puree, I believe it's a peach puree, and some turkey pate, but there is no crackers, so what the pate goes on I don't know. And very unusual for a Russian ration, no crackers is quite rare. So anyway, we shall, obviously the no heating element I can understand, you don't want any sort of possible heat source with air crew, but then again that then leads the question, how do they warm up the meals? So quite a few little anomalies here in this ration. So simple looking instant powder there, and again to give us its best chance I'll give it about half a mug of water there. Give it a quick stir, and we'll start working our way around. Now, as I said, this was a tomato and pepper caviar, but I tried to warm it this time. Sometimes I have it hot, sometimes I have it cold, and it seems to have split, and I've lost half of it in the boiling water. So it'll be interesting to see if anything is left. It feels only half the amount there once was. Not too bad. I think we managed to get away with that. We have half the amount there. I'm also going to have a look at the pate. Again, this is turkey pate. Nice looking pate, but as I've just said, there is no crackers, which is unusual for a Russian ration. And we have a peach puree, so a bit of fruit in a puree form. Very dark, strange looking colour there, very interesting to try. And last but not least, we'll have a look at this, the mains, which is stewed meat and rice. It's like it's firmly on. I think I'm going to need my friend just to help open this pack here. Very, very good for wrappings. I think just for demonstration purposes I'm going to bring in a bowl, which I have off shot there, and just empty that into the bowl best I can. I'm using the spoon, just put that up a large 400 gram portion, larger portion than what is the norm. Smells quite good. Already there's a nice smell emanating from there. Stewed meat with rice, which for me is a preferred option over the pearl barley, the groats. I'm not a fan of the groats or pearl barley, but the rice tends to be a little bit better. So, a little bit messy, got my hands there. And last but not least, we have a look at the chocolate bar. I think I'll bring in my older friend there just to open this one. I seem to have made a mess of the other one there. So, a couple of briquettes, 3 little bricks of some dark chocolate. Okay, and we have salt and black pepper and a wet nap. So starting with the coffee, just a black coffee, sugar. Nice, decent coffee. No hint of bitterness with the sugar in there. Personally, I would like a little bit of milk, but that's only a personal thing. Overall, a good, decent, instant coffee. Much better than many I've tasted out of a ration. I do have some water just to cleanse my palate, because again, there is no isotonic drink powder there. So, I'm going to start looking at this tomato and red pepper and onion mix, and say I did lose some of the mixture. The cap popped and it went into the water, but it don't seem to have done it any actual damage. Very simplistic flavours, just as you imagine. There's also carrot in there. Carrot, tomatoes, peppers. Personally, I think this is actually much better warmed. A nice accompaniment to any dish. Nicely salted, nicely peppered. Onions, carrots, tomatoes, red pepper. I do have a little bit of onion skin or something stuck to the roof of my mouth there. So have a look at the mains. So this is the stewed meat with rice. Typical Russian style dish that I've seen many times before. So let's have a little taste there. Soft, stodgy, flavoursome. As always, heavy on the fat. There's always a heavy fat content in these Russian meals. The rice, very well cooked, very soft, very much absorbed the flavours and the fats from the meat. Very fatty meal. Again, a lot of fat content. Salted, peppered, seasoned. Very heavy, very stodgy. Let's just try a few of these warm vegetables with the rice just to give it a little bit more variety. So a little bit of those vegetables with the rice. Much needed. Helps break down the grease content. Just helps also add a little bit of moisture to what is a very dry rice, a very dry meal else. Certainly helps. Pieces of meat. Let's try the meat there. Impossible to tell. I think that was a piece of beef. Could have been pork. The meat is so overly cooked, it's impossible to tell what actual meat that is. But it is. Very filling. Tasty. Stodgy. Heavy fat content. That with the addition of the vegetables to moisten it, quite an enjoyable, tasty dish. Wipe my mouth. Cleanse my palate. Still very heavy on the fat content though. Just cleanse the palate there. Moving along, we'll take a look at this turkey pate. Nice soft consistency. Very, very smooth in texture. Lightly tasting. Missing the usual sort of liver content. There isn't much of a liver flavour there. To be honest, there's not a lot of any flavour. It's a creamy, smooth, very indescript flavour. Not a lot of flavour, not a lot of salt, not a lot of pepper. It's just a creamy sort of spread. Would be much better with a cracker. It's no crackers, so I'll just try a little bit with the rice and the meat. Dropping it everywhere. Very nondescript. There was a background flavour, can't quite place. There is a strange herb in the background. Not actually one of the best pates out there. With nothing to spread it on. In my opinion, pretty much a bit of a useless addition to this menu. A pack of crackers would be better. Try a bit more with the rice again. No. Not a lot of flavour. Not a good quality pate. Turkey pate, but there's a strange aftertaste. Can't picture what the aftertaste is, but it's a pretty much useless component, I think, to have within this ration. There was 3 spoons. I'm just going to bring in a US MRE spoon just because I have one handy. There was 3 in the pack. I'll have a look at this peach puree. So very dark colour, chocolatey in colour. Little taste there on the spoon. Taste of peaches, quite bitter. There was a bitter tone to it, aftertaste. Again, flavour I'm not used to. That said, it's not unpleasant. It's just a different take on a puree. Never tried a peach puree. Very dark in consistency. Definitely you can taste the fresh peach, but it is a slightly sour, acidic, bitter aftertaste there. But still, a good way of incorporating some almost fresh fruit in your meal. The more you eat, the more it becomes acceptable to your palate. Nice, tasty fruit dish. And we'll taste this coffee. Good coffee. A good coffee for an instant. And finally, quick look at this chocolate bar. 3 slabs. Breaks nice and easy. Not too crisp. It is a warm day today, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. Just a nice gentle crack. Excuse me. Excuse me. I did have to sneeze. There is no blooming, or very little blooming on the outside. Quite soft. I would suggest around about the 50%, 55% cocoa content. Soft, sweet, tasty, good chocolate. Melts in your tongue very easily. Doesn't take a lot of chewing. It's not crisp, it's not firm like some. A nice, tasty piece of chocolate there. So, overall, a bit of a strange combination for this Russian and Air Crew single meal. No crackers, so the pate was pretty useless, just sitting there on its own. The meat, again, very typical Russian meal once again. High in fat, high content of grease. Was helped by some of the vegetables, caviar. And a totally new thing for me was the peach puree. It is enjoyable, but a slightly bitter, sour note in the background. So, this is the content for the Russian Air Crew single meal. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. Thank you, and goodbye.